pitch now. Oh, it is. I'm quite sure that's in the spirit of the don't call it for us. Here we go, Jordan! We'd love that call. We'd love that pitch. Okay, we got top of the 7th. We're down 9-8. Travis is up. And Jeff on deck. Get some hot backs. Let's go. We're ripping it. Through the middle. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Yost. Careful, Jordan. You got the ball at home. Very selective. Get out of play. Come on, Frank.
I'm so excited.
From
He
home?
just wanted to know. He called from Paul over the phone.
Come on, to our rally.
Good boy, Teddy.
Connie Oliver and many others that have helped with putting today together, and we really appreciate all the work that they have put into this. For our great teachers who've also helped with today, but also obviously helped a lot this year. We will follow the printed program. I would like to thank the parents.
When I was a young gymnast, another gymnast that I competed against became my hero. She became my hero because she taught me something that made a difference in my life. And what she told me is what I'm going to tell you today. The first thing she said was, don't be afraid to lose. She said in gymnastics, everybody falls, everybody fails, and everybody loses. But if you fall down, but if you will get back up every time you fall and try again, it will be your turn to be the champion. The second thing she taught me was reach for the stars. Say your goal so high that they're as high as the stars. You see, if you reach for the stars, you might peak the mountain. If you reach for the mountain, you might peak the housetops. But if you only set little tiny housetop goals, you probably won't even get off the ground. So reach for the stars and make it somewhere. My friend Nancy Thies, who taught me those lessons, became my hero because of that. And because of the things she told me and taught me, I was able to become a champion gymnast. Let me tell you my favorite gymnastics story. I was a senior in high school. I had just qualified for 2 national championship gymnastics competitions. It was in Arizona at a big college there. I went into the arena, and the first thing I noticed was trophies on a table that the winners would get to take home. And I wanted a trophy so much. Well, after the first day of competition, I had had a great meet, and I was favored to win the national title. My score was in first place. It was so far ahead of anybody else. My coach walked me over to that table and said, look, if you stay on tomorrow, you can take that home. Well, that was what my goal was. The second day of competition just happened to be my birthday. I was turning 18 years old, and I was feeling very grown up and mature. And so I decided that the most mature thing I could do would be to win the meet, give that trophy to myself for my birthday, and I would take it home so that I could show my friends. I thought that would be a very mature thing to do. Well, the meet officials found out it was my birthday. Now, I don't know how they found out. I was probably so mature that I told everybody. Well, it's a really good way to get presents, too. Well, right before the meet started, the announcer got on the loudspeaker and in front of everybody in the audience announced, ladies and gentlemen, today's Diane's birthday, and we want you all to sing happy birthday to her. So I had to go and stand in the middle of the floor while everyone is saying happy birthday. Now, I have always been kind of a ham. You know what a ham is? Ham's a show-off. Show-offs love attention. And there I stood while everybody sang happy birthday to me, and I was not embarrassed. I would have let them sing it twice just for the attention. Well, not only all the attention for being my birthday, NBC was filming the competition. And all during warm-up, there were 2 national television cameras just on me. Well, this was the best day of my life. My first event that day was the vaulting horse. I nailed my vault, I stuck up perfectly, and I got a good score. My second event was the balance beam. Now, how many of you have ever walked on a balance beam? Okay. A balance beam is 4 inches wide. It's 4 feet off the floor. And the way I got onto the beam, the mount that I used was I would run, jump off a springboard, do a twist in the air, land on the end of the beam in a handstand with my legs in the splits. Then in the handstand splits, I turn a complete circle with my legs, step down on the end of the beam, do this little pose, and then continue with my routine. Well, I performed the mount, the handstand, pirouette, stepped down on the end of the beam, did my pose, and in that pose, which lasted about a second, maybe a second and a half, I noticed something very interesting, especially for a, remember, mature 18-year-old. Standing about 20 feet from the end of the beam was the most handsome guy I'd ever seen in my life. And he was standing there and he was smiling at me, and girls are smart, we notice things very fast, right? I noticed he was tall, dark, and handsome. He had beautiful, straight white teeth. He was smiling at me, and he was standing there, folding his arms like that and making his muscles poke out. And I was so impressed. I knew that if he was going to talk to me at the end of the meet, I had to impress him back. Well, my next move on the beam was my back flip pass, and I stuck it perfectly, and I turned and I looked at him and I smiled. And he was like raising his eyebrows. That's a good sign, in case you didn't know. He was very impressed. Well, I kept kind of checking him out as I did my routine, and I was just kind of showing off for him. And about 3/4 of the way through the routine, on the easiest move, a turn on one foot. Okay, everybody can do it. I lost my balance and I fell off the beam. I could have died because you don't impress people by falling off. Well, I jumped back up, but I was shaking so bad that before I could take another step, I fell off the other side. Oh, I was hoping the judges hadn't noticed that I'd fallen twice in a row. But when the score came up at the end, it was not a very good score. Well, my next event was the uneven parallel bars. I was nationally known for my work on the bars. My routine was the best routine in the country, and I never missed it. I never fell on this routine, and that was good because I just fallen off the beam 2 times, and I needed to make up those points. I was sure that I could make up all the points with this one routine. Well, the mount that I used on the bars was I would run, jump off a springboard, turn a somersault over the low bar. I would catch the high bar. Back then in gymnastics, there were 5, maybe 6 people in the whole world that could even do this mount, and I was one of them. Well, I ran, I jumped off the springboard, I turned the somersault over the low bar, reached for the high bar, and I caught it perfectly. The mount was the hardest part of my routine, and once I was on the bars, the rest was easy. Well, my next move after the mount was a handstand on the high bar, 7 feet in the air. I swung around into a straight-bodied handstand, whipped the low bar, popped into the highest front somersault I had ever performed in my life. It turned over, I caught the bar exactly right. The entire audience exploded in cheering and clapping. This was the best routine I'd ever done in my life. I knew that I was going to make up those points. I was going to get on the victory stand. I was going to take a trophy home for my shelf. And I was thinking about all those things as I got ready for my dismount off the bars. The dismount I used was called a hecht off of the high bar over the low bar. Now what that means is I'd wrap around the bar with my hip, I'd pop off, fly over the high bar, over the low bar, and land about a foot in front of the low bar on the landing mat. Well, I popped off the bar, but instead of going off at about a 45-degree angle, I went just about straight up, which poses somewhat a problem, actually. I proceeded to perform the most spectacular move ever seen in the history of gymnastics. You will love it. I went up, came down, hit my feet on the high bar, banged my shins on the low bar, and I landed, imagine this, in a grand belly flop, face down, flat as a pancake, right in front of national television. Oh, I peeled my face off the mat, and my imprint of my face was still down there. I was smiling, my goodness. Well, I stood up, and there were, stars going around, and the room was spinning, and when a gymnast finishes a routine, she has to turn and face the judges. The problem was, I couldn't find the judges. I didn't know where they were. Well, the room finally stopped spinning. I turned, found the judges, I faced them, I gave them this smashed face sort of a grin. And they were, how do I describe what they were doing? They were laughing. They were trying not to, but they were going, oh my gosh, I can't believe what that girl just did. And the audience was so impressed that they were speechless. Okay, they were having heart attacks. Well, when you're a ham and a show off and nobody claps, it kind of hurts your feelings. And so I turned and faced the audience. I put the biggest grin on my face, and I winked at them. They clapped. They finally got around to it. Well, I walked past the other gymnasts on the floor. I found a quiet corner where nobody could see me, and I just started to bawl. Is that all right? Do you think at that point I was tired, I was burned out, and I had another meet to go to before my season was over, and I wasn't sure I wanted to go. But I remembered what my friend told me. If you fall down and you stay down, you're a quitter and a loser, and you will never win. If you get back up and try again, it will be your turn to be the champion. I decided I better go to this last competition to do one thing, to get back up and to be a winner. Because you know what? The person that stands on the top of the victory stand isn't the only winner. It's every individual that does their best. If you give 100%, that is what it means to be a winner. Well, to make a long story really short, I took a plane again with my coach to Portland, Oregon, and competed against some of the best gymnasts in the country. I saw some incredible routines, some impressive scores that day. I went into that competition, and by some miracle, I had the best meet of my life. You know what? Every routine wasn't perfect or flawless, but I knew that I had given my very best. And when it was over, that day I stood on the top step of the victory stand under an arch of roses. I received a giant trophy, a national title behind my name. I was so thankful that I found the courage to get back up, to try one more time, because that day I went home a winner, but I got to be the national champion on top of it. Because of that experience, I made myself a promise that no matter how hard I fall, no matter how many times I fail, I will never, ever give up. Well, it was about 5 years later that that promise was put to a very hard test. After Junior Olympics, I was invited to compete for the University of Utah for 4 years, and then I was invited to be a member of the United States professional gymnastics team. 2 days into my professional debut, I was practicing on the vaulting horse when I pushed way too hard off my hands. I was just warming up. I didn't have a spotter, but I over-rotated a somersault that I didn't mean to do, and I landed right on the back of my head. My spinal cord, my neck was broken, my spinal cord was damaged, and my debut, my career as a professional gymnast was traded for life in a wheelchair. I was scared. I was so afraid of wheelchairs that I wouldn't even go down the aisle in a grocery store if somebody in a wheelchair was there. And there I was laying in a hospital bed, paralyzed from the chest down, knowing the only way I could get out of bed would be to get into a horrible wheelchair. Well, I went home from the hospital. I was hoping that I would get everything back, that if I had a positive attitude, that I could start feeling my legs again and that I'd walk away. But the truth is, when I was done at the hospital, I still couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't stand up and I couldn't walk. And so I knew that I had two choices. I could give up or I could get up. I remembered that victory stand, the Arch of Roses, a national title, and a promise: I will not give up. You know what? That was 25 years ago. And you know what I've learned over the years? What I found out is that even though this happened, every single thing, every dream I had when I was your age, when I was in high school, when I was in college, every dream still came true. After I got home, I went back to college and finished my degree in elementary education. I taught school for 7 years in a wheelchair. I married the man of my dreams, became a professional motivational speaker, and was able to help write a book. And so what I want to say to you, I want you to remember 3 things that I've talked about. The first thing is to reach for the stars and be a champion. Now, there's lots of different kinds of champions. Did you know that a person can stand on the top step of the victory stand, get a gold medal, take home the biggest trophy, and still not be a champion? Is that possible? It's possible if they cheat to get there. It's possible not to be a champion if you can be a champion in life. You be someone else's hero. How many of you have brothers and sisters that live with you? Okay, you can be a hero to them. If you don't have brothers and sisters that live with you, how many of you have classmates and neighbor people around you? Okay, you be a hero to them. My wheelchair George taught me an amazing thing. You see, when I was first hurt, I thought that being in a wheelchair would make me not as good as other people. I was scared. But you know what George helped me understand? All he did was get me where I wanted to go. Just my legs. And what he helped me learn is that what's inside is what matters. I love this quote. Oh, where did it go? Right here. What lies behind us and what lies ahead of us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So would you remember that it's what is inside that counts? And then finally, the last thing I want to say is one more little tiny story. It's about a farmer and his donkey. One day, a farmer's donkey fell down into a well. The animal cried piteously for hours as the farmer tried to decide what to do. Finally, he decided the animal was old and the well needed to be covered up anyway. It just wasn't worth it to retrieve the donkey. He invited all his neighbors over to help him. They all grabbed a shovel and began shoveling dirt into the well. At first, the donkey realized what was happening and cried horribly. Then, to everyone's amazement, he quieted down. A few shovel loads later, the farmer finally looked down in the well and he was astonished astonished at what he saw. With every shovel load of dirt that hit his back, the donkey was doing something amazing. He would shake it off and take a step up. As the farmer's neighbors continued to shovel dirt on top of the animal, he would shake it off and step up. Pretty soon, everyone was amazed as the donkey stepped up over the edge of the well and trotted off. Life is going to shovel dirt on you, all kinds of dirt. The trick to getting out of the well is to shake it off and take a step up. Each of our troubles is a stepping stone. We can get out of the deepest wells just by not stopping, never giving up. Shake it off and step up. And so that's what I hope that you will remember from this day. That no matter what life hands you, that you will reach for the stars, that you will remember it's what's inside that counts. And no matter how much dirt life shovels onto you, if you will take a step up, you will be successful. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for listening. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful future. Thank you very much. Spencer Conrad. Hunter Cotto. Cole Cross. Kyle Lee. Rachel Gibson. Richard Hill. Marilyn Jones. Parker Hunsaker. Cody Joe. Nathan Lee. Andrew Oliver. Trevor Packey. Hey. Sydney Ross. Cecilia Seals. Isabella Hay. Derek Thomas. Emily. And last but not least, Maria Zambrano.
this is the way most of the classes wrote their pieces. They would either say, measure one, I want a couple of these letters, and pick the notes that they'd like. Some of them sang a measure or two for me and said, I want this here, and put all their ideas in.
It's been such an exciting year for our athletes. Football took second in region with a record of 6-4. The baseball team took second in region and 5th in state. Though we didn't take state in everything this year, I think we grew the most, knowing Ray Carlson, Mike McKell, Caitlin Thomas, Brianne Larson, Ashley Kamoy, Amy Gonzalez, Landon Lloyd, Tucker Lamb, Alec Cusick, Jake Mortensen, Angie Vaughn, Ruth Thursh, Zach Steele, Goose Galunke, Jake Robinson, Kay Corbett, Spencer Carrier, Nate Adamson, Virginia Vokes, and that only scratches the surface. Receiving all contributions and first team All-State. Orem High has given us so many opportunities and has opened so many exciting doors into the future. Some people succeed because they are...
Wednesday, May 21st, was our senior honors night, and over 600 awards and recognitions were announced. I will not restate all of them because you can all imagine how long that took the first time, but I will mention a few. Nearly $2 million were earned by this graduating OH seniors, scored in the top 10% nationally. 11 students obtained a 4.0 throughout their whole high school career, and 5 students are graduating today with their associate's degree. The Math Club spent a sum of well over 100 hours tutoring.
I have the privilege of presenting the class of 2008 senior project. As we tried to figure out what to do for our class project, ideas came in.
Robert Spencer Cooper. Darren R. Huber. Tori Fountain. J.M. Escobar. Mackenzie Farrer. Michelle Foster.
Davis.
Sierra Taylor Hampton. Taylor Harris. Getting right, Chuck. Dallin Hill. Jenna Lee J. Derek Jones. Will Huon. Melissa Kirk. Courtney Nabel. Mackenzie Lambrat. Brianne Larson.
JT.
Kevin Lloyd.
Justin Spencer Stockton. Jacob T. Mortensen.
Because they're triplets.
Christopher Shane Myers.
Brayden Roney. Mike J. Schultz. McKenna Dawn Scott.
Christopher Silverstone.
Travis.
Drew Monson Tanner. Samantha Tafoya. Turner. Casey. Gary J. Housekeeper. Ruth Dersh Allen. Kristen G. Bolt. Adam K. Jones.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Stephen Miller. Jessica Amber Miller. Tyler Maurice Moss. Alexandria Nichols. Aubrey Pimsicle. Britton Bartholomew.
Mom, how much more minutes?
Marcus Walker Brown II. Sean Owen Crawley. Kelly Lynn Davies.
Graduated from Warren High. After the school song, the graduates will exit the Marriott Center. As the graduates exit, we would ask that everyone please remain standing. Thank you for your attendance today. Will the audience please rise and join us in singing our school song?
You know, at the end of that graduation, I was too. Yeah. And I think it's great that he graduated, but I just thinking of him leaving. Well, you know, I win. Hit him low, Rick. Hit him low. Oh, he did. He's for the girls.
Give each other the sumo salute, whatever it is. Wrestle!
Yogi.
Is it two movie fast?
Yeah.
This has been so funny. The girls don't laugh.
Who do I film? Where do I film?
You film me first, and then go to Matthew, then go back to me. Okay, I don't like you. Okay, we don't like you either.
Okay, say it and then I'm gonna stop and then I'm gonna, okay?
Okay, what? Say it. Say it. I don't like you. Fight.
Hi.
Okay. I don't like you either. Fight.
Okay, my name is
Matthew, nobody's saying that. Okay, we do.
Matthew,
Yes, nobody.
It's done.
This is Jeffrey's last day before he goes into the MTC. I'm going there. Elder Mala. There's Jean. And Odin.
Okay.
Nathan. David.
Hello.
Mom.
Okay, can we go?
I'm just looking for Celeste.
Dad. Elder Mullah's senior companion currently.
Where? Are there any more handbooks?
Michael.
Okay. Thank you, Jeans. Here we go.
The world has need of willing men who wear the workers' seal. Come on, help the good work move along. Put your shoulder to the wheel. Put your shoulder to the wheel.
we're going to be reading scriptures.
Okay.
This is the typical room
What shoes are you?
that Jeff would no longer be occupying with us.
Run to the basement. They were right up there by your desk, by the stereo. At least in the last 2 days. Okay. Jeff, what should we read? Book of Mormon? Converts?
Well, let's just read right where we were.
Okay.
Let's pick up right where we left off. Okay, what page are we on? 220. Hold on.
Okay, hold on.
Do you remember all of them where we were?
The case
Jeff,
or
do you
the
remember?
scriptures?
Case is up on
The
my
new one's
bathtub.
upstairs, but son, not right now. We're reading now. You can get those when we leave.
No.
Can you go a little faster? Okay. What page?
No, not 3. We're in the 2s. Clearly, it's been too long since we read last.
Well, let's capture all that on film.
That's all right. It's the real thing.
It's
Till
summer.
time.
Mom, why do you have such a
Oh, I think we're on 207.
Mom, why do you have
No, we're on
such a
205.
big pair of... Michael, scoot over, please.
All right.
And we have James here visiting,
Can I help you find it?
and Alden here visiting, but you can't see him through the tree.
It's real crowded over there. Here, I'll get you another chair.
There he is.
Boom. Have a seat. I'll help you find it.
Okay, Jeff, start.
205 in the Book of Mormon. Okay.
Of course, usually we're never this dressed up for scripture reading. It just happens to be this one special day. Okay, go.
And even I myself have labored with intentions, nor stealing, nor plundering, nor murdering, nor any manner of iniquity. And whosoever has committed iniquity, him have I punished according to the crime which he has committed, according to the law which has been given unto us by our fathers.
Okay.
I say unto you that because all men are not just, it is not expediently that ye should have a king for kings to rule over you. For behold, how much iniquity doth one and wicked king cause to be committing ye, and that what great destruction.
Good.
Yea, remember King Noah, his wickedness and his abominations, and also the wickedness and abominations of his people. Behold, what great destruction did come upon them, and also because of their iniquities that were brought into bondage, and were not for the interposition of their all-wise Creator. And this because of their sincere repentance, they must unavoidably remain in bondage until now.
And because they cried mightily unto him, he would deliver them out of bondage. And thus doth the Lord work with his power in all cases among the children of men, extending the arm of mercy towards them that put their trust in him. And behold, now I say unto you, ye cannot dethrone an iniquitous king, save it be through much contention and the shedding of much blood. For behold, he has his friends in iniquity, and he keepeth his guards about him, and he teareth up the laws of those who have reigned in righteousness before him, and he trampleth under his feet.
And whosoever doth not obey his laws, he causeth to be destroyed, and whosoever doth rebel against him, he will send his armies against them to war. And if he can, he will destroy them, and thus an unrighteous king doth pervert the ways of all righteousness. And now behold, I say unto you, it is not
You by the voice of this people judges, that ye may be judged according to the laws which have been given you by our fathers, which are correct, and which are given them by the hand of the Lord. Now it is not common that the voice of the people desireth anything contrary to that which is right, but it is common for the lesser part of the people to desire that which is not right.
The people doth choose iniquity, then it is time that the judgments of God will come upon you. Yea, then is the time he will visit you with great destruction, even as he has hitherto visited this land.
On the heads of their kings, and now I desire that this iniquity should be no more in this land, especially among my people from God. I desire that this land be a land of liberty, and every man may enjoy his right and privilege, and alike hold so long to the Lord. See fit that we may live in the inherit of the Lord, even among any for
Posterity.
posterity. We may to burn the face of the land.
Forget me any charger.
No, we need to get a new one.
Where's the
How do you
Zoom?
do that one?
He was this man. He was on a mission to Canada.
Okay. We're here talking to Sister Markoff and Elizabeth. How are we doing, Mom?
I'm
All
good.
composed.
I'm good.
We got Alden, James, Elder Mella, and Matthew. We have Kristen holding Kleenex, Jenny, David, and Nathan, and Michael, Matthew, Matt, Michael, Matt. Say hi. Wave. Okay.
Hey, put on your name.
And this is Dad turning it around to myself. Okay, oh, let's see it. Hold on, let me zoom in on this thing. Right there, Elder Mella. That's what I'm talking about.
Take a picture.
Oh yeah, Heather, or Kristen, do you have the other picture camera? Here. Whoa.
Do you have any gum?
Yes, that is for your mom. And you will get yours.
Kristen, click away.
Dad, do you have any gum?
I do. Back to recording. Let's
Okay, can we go down? We're through recording and taking pictures.
Okay, I think we're going to turn off recording. Jeff, wave to the camera for the last time. Peace, okay.
Oh, you wasted it. I'm recording this.
What the? I went out. How do you go back in?
Just press X.
Why are you recording? To make fun of how bad I am?
No. You look like Michael, kind of.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I need
You look like a younger version of David.
Okay, well,
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, it's better than Michael.
You look like Michael, you just have blondish hair, and not a big head. Dude, Mike.
We shall kill him.
Yeah!
We shall kill him with the ninja stars. We shall kill him. We shall kill him. Any last words?
No, don't do it. That one was in the bones.
Stop that!